himself. The Pirates have been seeking help from other teams to help slow down St. Louis. There hasn't been much help forthcoming, but now they don't need help from anyone else. The Cardinals are here for the next 3 nights right in front of them. So what does it they say about helping those who help themselves?
Pirates left-hander Jay Happ is the man the Buccos are counting on tonight in this opener of a huge 3-game series. The Cardinals and the Pirates at PNC Park. Let's take a look at the National League Central Division standings. The Cards 3 games on top of the Pirates. Their magic number to clinch the division is 4. The Pirates still have their sights set on a division title. Hi again, everybody. Along with Steve Blass, I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Smikowski is with us as well. Steve, final week of the regular season. Anything can happen still. The Pirates can still win the division title. They control their own destiny as long as they can continue to win.
Absolutely, Tim. It's going to be an exciting weekend, that's for sure. But first things first, welcome home after a great road trip. Everybody in Pittsburgh was attached to the TVs and the radios, listening to the Pirates have a great trip. And now this is the series we've been pointing to. You know, how many times have we said, well, big series coming up on tap? We've had a lot of them, but this one has got everything that you want, including great pitching. So it should be a lot of fun. Everybody in Pittsburgh waiting for the Pirates to come home and take on the St. Louis Cardinals. I can't wait.
Steve mentioned great pitching. Let's take a look at the comparisons between these two staffs. 1 and 2 in just about every category.
Absolutely, and you wonder why these two teams have the best 2 records in Major League Baseball. It's all about pitching. Phenomenal work by the Cardinals to have a team ERA under 3. The Pirates right in back of that. So it's pitching. It's that basic pitching. The starting rotations have been good. The bullpens have been terrific. So really, you don't expect to see a lot of runs, but you expect to see a lot of pitching. So we'll see how it plays out. You never predict exactly what's going to happen, other than it's going to be exciting. This is going to be fun.
It's our Barrel Automotive League leaders stat. Jay Happ has the ball tonight. He's been sensational since his first start with the Bucs.
He has been absolutely terrific. The only 2 losses against the Chicago Cubs. This game against the Cardinals earlier, 7 innings, 3 hits, no runs, no walks, 8 strikeouts. Jay Happ could not have been better. He has really been a great addition for this Pittsburgh Pirates team.
Well, Jay Happ will be on the hill. He will oppose Lance Lynn. Pirates Cardinals game 1. The Buccos and Redbirds lay it on the line here tonight at PNC Park. Stand by. We'll have the lineups and the first pitch coming your way on Root Sports. Pirates and Cardinals. Great series this has been this year. It's tied at 8 wins apiece. Cardinals won the first 4 of the season, Steve, and the Pirates went 8-4 since then.
Yep, that's been good. And wouldn't you like to have a ticket to watch the two teams that have the best records in Major League Baseball? And that's what we got for you this weekend. So it should be a lot of fun. The guys getting ready in the dugout, their annual or their daily ritual. I don't know if they do this on the road, but they certainly have it down to a well choreographed readiness, pregame stretch, if you will, to get ready to play a Major League Baseball game. And we love our dugout dancers. Yeah. You know, everybody loves all the different aspects of the Pittsburgh Pirates this year. And they played so extremely well at home. You love to play your best baseball in front of the home crowd. So here we are, the last 6 home games. Well, we hope there's more home games later on, certainly. But it's come down to this. And what a season we've had. Everybody in that dugout has stepped up one way or the other. So it's been a group program for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and here comes that group of 9 to play against the Cardinals tonight.
Well, you mentioned the Pirates getting it done at home, Steve. 50-25 at home, 26-10 in their last 36 home games. Certainly there is an advantage to home field.
Yeah, and there's a good energy in this ballpark tonight. I can't wait. It's just neat to be playing meaningful baseball at this point in the early autumn. It's great.
Cardinals lineup written up by Mike Matheny tonight looks like this, with Matt Carpenter leading off and playing third base. Steven Piscotty is in right. Matt Holliday back in the lineup. He's missed a lot of time this year due to injury. 6 for 13 against Jay Happ this year. On his career, rather, with a home run. Jason Hayward will back cleanup. Johnny Peralta, the shortstop, and Brandon Moss also has good numbers against Happ. Colton Wong, Tony Cruz doing the catching. Lance Lynn doing the pitching against the Pirate southpaw.
Yep, the Hyundai numbers for Jay Happ, and what a shot in the arm he has been. 6-2. The only 2 losses coming against the Cubs. Even in one of those losses, he pitched extremely well. Cardinals got beat 2-1. But boy, you can get a guy of this caliber that's doing this kind of stuff late in the season. It doesn't happen all that often, but he has just been a very, very bright light. And we're talking on the pregame about his last start. He's 2-8 against the Cardinals lifetime, but his last start against St. Louis was dominant. 7 shutout innings, no walks, 8 strikeouts. So we're giving the ball tonight to a guy who's been around and coming off a very strong start against the Cards.
Jordy Mercer back at shortstop. He will lead things defensively for the Pirates. Josh Harrison at third tonight. Walker and Alvarez on the right side of the infield, with Cervelli doing the catching. And Marte, McCutchen, and Polanco in the outfield. And Jordy making his team best 103rd start at shortstop, and lately has been hitting very well. Had a big home run a couple of days ago in Chicago, and a couple of multi-hit efforts on the road trip. Pirates did very well.
Yeah, he's in that category, a little bit of a unsung hero, if you will. There's been a lot of them. You put him on that list. He has really picked it up since Gung went down.
Well, Jay Happ getting set to face Matt Carpenter. We're just about ready to get underway.
Showtime.
PNC Park. Here we go. Game 1 is underway, and it's a strike to Carpenter. Carpenter hit a home run yesterday against the Brewers, and he's hit a lot of them. 27. Most home runs by a left-handed hitter for the Cardinals since Jim Edmonds in 2005 had as many. And there's strike 2.
You see a lot of leadoff hitters like to work the count. Well, he's worked it right into an 0-2 situation.
Well, Happ has been pitching with much more confidence this year since his first start. Worked on some mechanical issues, got those squared away, and he's been great since. Still 0-2. That one fouled off by Carpenter.
Yeah, well, he's also amped up his strikeout rates. Last 4 starts, he's had 8 strikeouts, 10, 8, and 8. And he's not known to be a fireballer. So he's figured a lot of things out since becoming a Pittsburgh Pirate. And we're very happy about it.
And he strikes out Carpenter to start the ball game.
Right on cue. That'll light your fuse.
Terrific beginning for Jay Happ.
Nice break, couple fastballs, breaking ball. Yep. 1, 2, and 3.
His curveball has been very, very effective. The fastball he'll elevate it. Fastball high in the zone has been very good for him as well. Here's Piscotty. And this kid has been something else since his call-up earlier in the season from AAA. There have been days when he has carried this ball club, hitting .313. He has 4 game-winning RBIs just this month. And he had a home run yesterday against the Brewers. And that was the second of back-to-back home runs with Carpenter. Made it a 3-1 lead. And then later on, Segura hits this one, and it's pulled back by Piscotty. 1-2 the count to him, so he got one and took one away. But yesterday, probably the most disappointing game for the Cardinals all season, as their bullpen blew the lead, gave up 7 runs, and the Brewers would win 8-4. 1-2 up high.
Very unlike the Cardinal bullpen, and very unlike Rosenthal giving up a couple home runs recently.
Rosenthal gave up the grand slam yesterday to Jason Rogers, and Seth Maness also giving up 3 runs. 2-2.
Well, it hasn't been the dominant month of September for the St. Louis Cardinals. We wondered all season long for the first 5 months, are these guys going to have a soft spot in their schedule? Finally, it came in September. Couldn't have come at a better time for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
And Carlos Martinez, scheduled to pitch Wednesday, will not. This ball ripped right down to Jay Hay. Out number 2.
Josh, very well positioned. Right in his tracks. I like the way he charged that ball. Got a good jump on it.
Good jump on that?
Yep.
Definition of an atom ball. Here's Matt Holliday. Holliday hitting .286. Pirates haven't seen a lot of Holliday this year. Grounds it to the right side. Walker's got it. Jay Happ sets the Cardinals down in order in the top half of the first inning. PNC Park. They're ready up on the rotunda. And the Pirates lineup is ready also. It's brought to you by Toyota. Gregory Polanco leading off. Josh Harrison in the 2 spot. Andrew McCutcheon. And starting Marte hitting cleanup. Neil Walker 5th. Francisco Cervelli bats 6th. Alvarez 7th. Mercer 8th. And Jay Happ will bat 9th. And they will face the Cardinal right-hander Lance Lynn. They are rooting from everywhere for the Pirates tonight.
Lance Lynn, 12-10 on the year. This year against the Pirates, as you check out his season numbers, he is 0-2 and 3 starts with an ERA of .694. So the Pirates have knocked him around a little bit.
You look at what Lynn has done in his last 2 starts against the Pirates. 11 2/3 innings. Actually, that's over 3 starts there. 9 runs he's given up. 19 hits. And Polanco will take a strike. Gregory hitting .254. Had the lone hit last night in Chicago.
That was masterful. All you can do is tip your cap for one of the greatest runs of pitching maybe in the history of the game.
Gregory broke up the perfect game to start the 7th. A.J. Burnett was on the other side of that last night.
And didn't pitch all that badly, but it was just the Arrieta show. Simple as that.
First time he's ever given up a home run to an opposing pitcher.
Well, that's easy.
Some guys do that.
The realm of possibility. A.J. had a great quote. He said, "Yeah, he said, well, you know, if I can hit one, anybody can hit one." And Arrieta almost had a second one. He keeps track of things.
Pirates taking 2 of 3 from the Cubs on the road. 1 and 2 to Polanco. 2 of 3 from the Dodgers. 4 of 4 from the Rockies.
It was, I mean, you lose the first game in Los Angeles, and then you went, okay, what's going to happen on the trip? And then you just almost run the table. Phenomenal trip.
Reeled off 8 in a row on the road. 1-2. 2 and 2.
And the thing is, over the weekend, you had a feel of that run that the Pirates are on, but also when the dust settles from Chicago, I don't know if you'll see a 3-game series that's going to feature better starting pitching of both teams combined, the Arrieta and then Cole and Liriano. It was phenomenal pitching.
2-2, smacked foul out of play. It really was a show. It really was an atmosphere. Every day at Wrigley, it's like we've never seen it. And you know, as much as people say, well, you know, the Pirates have to face Arrieta again, the Cubs are saying we got to face Cole again.
That's right. Yeah.
He was absolutely dominant as well.
There's a line that has been drawn in the sand.
2-2, and Polanco strikes out. Well, 1 out for the Pirates. We take a look now at our Rivers Casino tips to win tonight.
You know, the Pirates have not been around early around this year, but get him early before he gets his feet going, because he can be a dominant pitcher. So maybe back on his heels, he struggled against the Bucks, but you don't want to let him find himself. So if you can knock him around a little bit early, that would be a very good thing. Also, Cardinals, they're a very good baseball team. No mistakes, no errors. You got to play clean baseball to beat this Cardinal team.
Strike 1 to Jay Hay, playing third base tonight. Aramis Ramirez not in the lineup tonight. Pirates giving him just a bit of a breather. Clint Hurdle said 2 reasons. 1, the matchup's better this way with Harrison and not Ramirez in. And 2, after the overnight travel, it's better to get him regenerated.
Yeah, you're not talking about a running teenager out there.
No.
You know, there's another thing we're going to keep track of as you take a look at Aramis Ramirez. The Pirates' running game. Molina is not in there. Cruz has not done a good job against base stealers. Neither has Lynn. I can back him up with numbers, but just keep that in mind. Cruz has struggled. Lynn has struggled.
0-2 to right field. It's going to hang up. Scotty makes the catch, and there are 2 gone. Jay Hay lines out.
Yeah, you don't want to discount Lance Lynn. He has won 15 games in each of the last 2 seasons. This is a quality pitcher. Just don't let him get locked in.
Here comes Kutch. A lot of accolades for Kutch.
And there should be.
Didn't see a ton of pitches to hit on the recently completed road trip, but found himself on base a lot.
You know what was amazing to me as I watched the game on the games from Colorado. They're pitching around him. They're walking him, putting runners on base at Coors Field. That's a recipe for disaster, and that's what happened. You can't put people on base for free out there on a regular basis. I mean, it's just there's too much hitting.
There's just too much field. It's not so much that the ball carries there, but it's just that it's just too much field. It's so much bigger than every place.
Too much acreage.
Mike Matheny, the skipper of the Cardinals, has a 12-22 record against the Pirates at PNC Park. So the Bucks have taken care of business against the Matheny Cardinals.
One other footnote from the road trip, and then I'll stop. I think the Cubs have ruined Wrigley Field with those scoreboards. I think they've ruined that wonderful, wonderful ballpark. Those big scoreboards in left center and right center. I mean, everybody has their opinions. People still might not be bothered with that. That's all right. But I've known Wrigley for a lot of years, and it just doesn't quite look the same to me. It's the last of my editorials.
Okay. The last?
Yes. You know I never have opinions.
2-2 to McCutcheon. I mean, this is the bottom of the first. I thought you'd have some more.
No.
Great seats, huh? 2-2 pitch to McCutcheon. And he strikes out. So Lynn strikes out 2. He gets the Pirates in order. And we'll head to the second, scoreless at PNC Park.
Just like the 1909 World Series champions did. I'm Robbie Itzbikowski. If you think it's unprecedented to see two teams this good meeting this late in the season, it pretty much is unprecedented. In fact, this is just the 6th time in the history of Major League Baseball we've seen a series of 3 or more games between teams with 95 or more wins. The 1909 Pirates were the only team to win a World Series. In fact, it's just happened twice in the last 28 years. The 2001 Mariners and Athletics each met, and of course the Buccos and the Cardinals this season. Clint Hurdle was a part of 2 of these 6. He was a member of the 1985 St. Louis Cardinals, or excuse me, 1985 New York Mets team. Then, of course, were eliminated. They would go on to win the World Series the next season. But, yeah, it's pretty impressive stuff to see 2 teams this good playing this late in the season, Tim and Steve. And hopefully the Buccos can make that 101 wins and keep the Cardinals somewhere around where they are right now, right?
Yep. Like the math. Like the math.
Here's Jason Hayward. Ground ball to Walker. 1 pitch and 1 out in the top of the 2nd inning. Well, Jay Happ's known to get fly ball outs because of the elevated fastballs, but he'll take the grounders anytime he can get them.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Peralta will come up next for the Cardinals to face Happ.
No 450-foot ground balls.
Peralta, fairly solid season again. 274, 17 homers to go along with 68 runs batted in.
Lots of power for a shortstop. He can move the ball.
1-0 coming to Peralta. In the air to right. Camping out underneath it is Polanco. 2 down. We want to see your strongest fan photo. We know you've got some strong ones. Use the hashtag #PittDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast, maybe even tonight. It's brought to you by T-Mobile. I'll show you one later on.
That is what you call being decked out.
Yep. That's the right type of hat for this time of year. You can wear it to the park and then wear it again at the end of October, Halloween. Brandon Moss is up. Moss has had good success against Happ in the past.
Former Pirate. I'll bet this Halloween you're going to see a lot of Pirate outfits around Halloween because of this year.
I'll bet you do. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. Moss is 7 for 11 against Happ over his career. That's a .636 average. This one hit in the air to center field. McCutchen drifting back, and he'll haul this one in. 6 up, 6 down for the Cardinals. And Jay Happ with a 6-pitch inning. Update. Adam Wainwright through a simulated game this afternoon at PNC Park as he continues to work towards a possible return to action in the postseason. Today was the right-hander's 3rd such sim game, and as you can see, he worked hard out there and fielding his position too. Wainwright has been sidelined since April when he tore his left Achilles tendon while trying to get out of the batter's box. And there's a report saying that he could return as soon as Wednesday, the last game of this series, to pitch out of the bullpen.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, those exercises was testing the heel and the rundowns and covering first base. So they were doing the right thing in terms of seeing what the tolerance was and hoping that he was going to be okay with that.
Starling Marte leads off the second for the Pirates, following the first pitch off from Lynn. Well, you look back at that series he had in Colorado, Steve, on the road. 13 hits, tying a franchise record set by Pie Traynor in 1928. Traynor had 13 hits against the Phillies in August of that year.
Yeah, I watched that game. Last at bat, another base that just kept coming. It just automatic. Pie Traynor, one of the great names in Pirate history. Great player. He did a lot of commercials, Tim. One was, "Who can? American heating." Pie Traynor. That was kind of a signature of Pie's in later years. Really a nice man, a great baseball player.
Got a field named after him at North Park.
High Trainer Field.
Yep. Down at Pirate City as well. He's got a field named after him. 1-2 pitch coming to Marte. Inside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Starlin. Lance Lynn making his 127th career start.
28-year-old out of Marion County, Indiana. First rounder. He went in the 39th. He was the 39th pick.
That's inside. Dana Sonia at first base said he did not go around.
And so because he said that, he didn't. Say, how can you be a first rounder and go 39th? Well, they have that supplemental stuff in the middle. So he was a high draft pick.
Lance Barksdale calling the balls and strikes tonight. Gary Cedarstrom, the crew chief. Marte fouls it off. Cedarstrom working at second base. We saw Iasonia at first, and Quinn Walcott is the umpire at third. Pretty sure Walcott was the guy that I think we were in St. Louis and he got drilled with a line drive. Might have been off the bat of Marte. Somebody hit it real hard right at the ump. Got him on the wrist. Ball 4, and the Pirates with a base runner.
Working a nice at bat. Now again, I'm going to watch for the Pirates running game, because I'd be surprised if they didn't do some against Cruz and Lynn. Just to give you the numbers, Cruz has allowed 15 steals in 17 attempts. 15 out of 17 have stolen. Against Lynn, 5 have tried it, 4 have succeeded. So the numbers are there.
Derek Hullequist, pitching coach, he keeps track of all those numbers too. Neil Walker, a 269 batter. He's got a runner at first and nobody out. He takes a ball.
And a fake move or a start and stop by Marte at first base on that pitch. Took a couple steps and then shut it down. Now he wants to do some landscaping. He wanted to go.
Marte with 29 stolen bases. Tony Cruz doing the catching. Yadier Molina, who was said today by the Cardinals he will be out for the rest of the regular season. Not just this series, but the last 3 they'll play against the Braves, too.
Thumb injury.
Walker to the gap in right center field. Marte on the run. And Starling Marte is going to be held at third. Walker in with a double.
Off the gap, and the only question was whether Marte was going to be able to come all the way around, and you don't want to get thrown out at the home plate for the first out. Here's how it starts. Up and out over the plate. Lance Lynn, look at him, he knows it. And that ball was gap bound from the time it left the bat. And Sofield's going to hold him at third base. Pirates set up shop.
He just covers so much ground in a hurry. Nobody out. Walker with his 32nd double, and Cervelli a chance to get the Bucks on the board. Watch the crowd, Steve. They want it to happen.
On their feet. We have seen a lot of times when Neil Walker has lifted the crowd. Classic shot of one of his home runs a while ago. It was one of the best.
2 balls and no strikes.
By the way, Marte would have scored had not Piscotty went over and cut the ball off. That ball goes to the wall. He scores easily, but Piscotty did a good job of getting to it before the track. And that held him up at third base.
Two ball, no strike pitch to Francisco Cervelli. 3-0. Lance Lynn walks almost 3.5 batters per 9 innings, and that's one of the highest marks in Major League Baseball. It's in the top 5, and that certainly as a pitcher, Steve, not a top 5 you want to be in.
No, that's asking for problems. Well, Grandma, join the crowd. Everybody in Pittsburgh loves Cervelli.
3-0. Lynn gets back in the count, 3-1.
I read something today where Cervelli, I think, has one of the highest batting averages after the 7th inning. But that's not a bad time to have a high average. So many times games on the line, so many one-run games, so many close games. Late offense is good. Pedro's next.
Shallow fly ball. Right fielder Piscotty gets under it. Marte will bluff the throw. Cervelli doesn't get him in. 1 out.
Grandma still loves him. You make a little bit of a move, just to draw a throw. The throw could be bad, catch a flyer, he could fall down, slip on the grass, who knows. Just to force him to throw it, knowing you're not going anywhere. Interesting seeing how they approach Pedro with an open base. Mercer, hot bat in the on-deck circle. Lynn has given up just 13 home runs in his first 29 starts. They've done a good job keeping the ball in the ballpark.
And with first base open, they're going to walk Pedro. They know that Pedro hits exceptionally well against the Cardinals.
And it sets up a double play. You get on the other side of power that could get a Pirate lead 3-0 with one swing of the bat.
So we're in the bottom of the 2nd inning, and Cardinals intentionally walking a man.
This does not surprise me. He sets up to a double play, and this is a guy that can hurt you big time right away. Down toward the bottom part of the order.
Pedro heading down to first. Bases are full of Bucks. Matt Carpenter will join the meeting, as well as Colton Wong.
The old green weenie from way back in the day. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on for the Cardinals right now. They're on the other side of Alvarez with that power. They set up a double play, and if they get on the other side of Mercer somehow, then they're facing the Pirate pitcher. So it makes all the sense in the world. Now we can make all that backfire right here with a hot bat, Jordy Mercer.
Mercer facing Lance Lynn. Takes a strike. Mercer is 7 for 19 against Lynn, so good numbers. That pitch out of the strike zone, and Lynn got a call.
Trying to keep the ball down there to get the ground ball.
Here comes the 0-1. This one's up in the air to left. Marte. Can't really do much with this one either. Just too shallow. He's coming. Hayward's throw is in time to get him. The Pirates took a gamble there, and it paid off for the Cardinals instead. A very shallow fly ball. Needed a good throw to get him, and they got the good throw. No runs, 1 hit. No score after 2. Starling Marte trying to score in that shallow fly ball. And this is, Steve, our Chick-fil-A double play.
Yeah, Hayward, with the height of this, had plenty of time to get it measured, get himself set up for a strong throw. Wasn't all that deep. It's a 50-50 shot that he makes a perfect throw to the plate. He did it. Nice tag by Cruz. And that one didn't work for the Pirates. I don't have really much trouble with the risk there. You got good speed, still a legitimate length of a throw. And Lance Lynn liking that, of course. Gets him out of a huge jam. And a great play by the Cardinals.
And with the pitcher on deck behind him,
yeah.
It's not a bad gamble.
Yep, that's legit. The Cardinals had to do everything right, and they did. So far, Jay Happ has been doing everything right. As we said, a 6-pitch top of the second.
Colton Wong is the batter. Second baseman takes a strike. He's hitting .262.
I love the fact, among other things so far for Jay Happ, he's getting that first pitch in most of the time, if not all the time, for a strike. And once again, out in front very quickly, 0-2.
Catches Cervelli, protected part of the arm.
The life of a catcher, September. Not that he's not used to it after 5.5 months, almost 6 months.
That's into left field for a base hit.
And that's one that Jay didn't want to deliver where he did. He was out in front 0-2. Kind of right in the middle of the strike zone. At least upstairs, if not in the middle.
Well, they hate to lose them 0-2, don't they?
Absolutely. Very frustrating.
Tony Cruz, the 8th batter in the order for the Cardinals. 190. Delivers a ball upstairs, 1-0.
Jay Happ wasn't dazzling last time out against the Rockies, but he went 5 1/3. Only gave up 3 runs. That's not bad in that ballpark. Struck out 8, a lot of strikeouts, and came away with a win. Pirates got him 6 runs to work with. That was enough.
Fouled off. It'll be interesting to see how Tony Cruz adjusts now. When you're Yadier Molina's backup, you don't play very much. And they give him a game here, a game there. But now that Molina's out for the regular season, his postseason status not known at this time, Cruz is the everyday catcher.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I mean, it's what everybody wants. They want to be an everyday player. But when you're not one, and then all of a sudden, late in the pennant race, are thrown into being that guy, we'll see how he adjusts.
Yep, jury's out.
Colton Wong with 15 stolen bases. He's been caught 8 times.
Not automatic. Combine that with the fact that he's working, if he wants to steal against a left-hand pitcher who's looking at him the whole time. It really helps the pitcher a bit.
Strike call, 1-2. Since joining the Pirates, Jay Happ's strikeout rate is up about 31%, as opposed to 23% when he was with the Mariners. That was over 20 starts with Seattle.
What 2 or 3 starts ago, he got into double figures with 10. He works around that, what, 91, 92, maybe an occasional 93-mile-an-hour fastball. He's simply making better pitches, especially 2-strike pitches. A couple of household names for the Cardinals. Carpenter, Molina.
1-2 to Cruz. Jay knocks it down. Go to second for 1. Double play. What do you say, Jay?
Well done. This ball blistered. First of all, to get some leather around it. And then stay with it. And good awareness by Neil Walker to be over there just in case. And one's caught in the middle. What are you going to do? Is it caught? Does he have to scramble back to first base? I thought originally it was caught.
The ball right there. Jay able to pick it up fluidly.
Yep. That's called jumping on it.
2 outs and the pitcher Lance Lynn up.
Okay, here we go. This is a better look. Yep, there it is. Oh, what a great thing for young players as Cervelli takes another shot. Stay with the play. Grab it. You're still going to have a chance to make a play. That's how you train. Josh Harrison, great example of that. The fact that it was blistered really hit hard, and you got a catcher running. Those 2 components helped a little bit.
Count is 0-2 to Lance Lynn. 2 down, top half of the 3rd. And he struck him out. First strikeout of the night for Jay Happ. He's faced the minimum through 3. No score as we head to the Pirates half of the 3rd.
Is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. And by Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. Let's go Bucks.
Still scoreless at PNC Park on this Monday night. Pirates and the St. Louis Cardinals. Renegades of the Rotunda are back. They want to win. So does that young man.
Already got the rally cap on, or at least backwards. What kind of loyalties? It's not Papelbon and Harper, though.
No, it's not. Papelbon suspended 4 games today, by the way, by the Nationals.
For choking, 15 yards for choking.
Yeah, he got 4 days for choking, yeah. The penalty marker was thrown. And he also has another suspension pending in the series with the Orioles for throwing at Manny Machado. So, I mean, his season's pretty much over. I thought they just might send him home today instead of suspending him 4 games. Maybe they did. They didn't need him as Max Scherzer almost threw a no-hitter against the Reds. Lost it in 8. J-Happ fans.
Yep. Get on target.
Jay 1 for 18. Cole drives in a run Friday, remember? At Wrigley Field, had a big RBI.
Yep. A great job he did.
Back John Lester.
You know, I thought maybe, to me, I was watching the game, I thought maybe the at-bat of the season from a pitcher standpoint as I was watching was his work against Chris Bryant. With a man on, nobody out. He fell behind 3-0, came back and struck him out with just a tremendous heater. I thought that was a great sequence. Because if he walks him, there's 2 on, nobody out. Came all the way back, not only got him out, but struck him out. Speaking of strikeouts. But I thought that was one of my real highlights of the season.
Well, the Bucks take on the Reds this Friday, 7:05. First 20,000 get a Pirates t-shirt, compliments of Service Link. Food, live entertainment, and the Line and Kugel Bar are out on Federal Street. It's the Friday Night Block Party presented by Barrel Automotive. For tickets, go to pirates.com/free shirt Friday. Now, expecting some good crowds, great crowds, but you can still get some tickets.
That's right.
For these weekday games here against the Cardinals and for the regular season finale against the Reds, and the division still could be on the line even though the Pirates are playing the Reds. So you want to be down here at PNC Park.
Yeah, get out here. You want to be a part of this energy. This is why you buy tickets for Major League Baseball.
Polanco struck out swinging in the first, 0 for 1.
Did I say the rest of the weekend? The rest of the series.
And that too. 2-0. This season series is tied. If let's say for fun, the Pirates win this series, and they would win the season series, right? Polanco takes a strike. Let's just say these two teams were tied at the end of the weekend.
Tomorrow on Monday.
Pirates would have the home field. That's just one scenario. And that would be a division championship game. Tiebreaker.
Oh, okay.
Ripped to right field. Base hit.
Yeah, I thought you were going down the road to a tiebreaker that we have to play Monday.
That was it.
Oh, okay.
That would be Monday.
Okay, you said a division. I heard the word division.
Yeah. If they tie at the end of the regular season. Lance Lynn. Not too happy with that.
Gesturing to the catcher about that. He threw it. Well, I'll tell you, you could hear the crack of the bat all the way up here.
One on, one out for Josh.
So if Gregory wants to go anywhere.
It's a good combination for hit and run, too.
Yep.
281 for Harrison. He lined out to the right fielder, Piscotty, in the first inning. Ball, 1 strike to Jay Hay. Lance Lynn, one of 2 current pitchers with at least 10 wins, 150 strikeouts, and less than 15 home runs allowed in each of the last 3 seasons. You know who the other guy is? Clayton Kershaw. So he's in that category, at least in terms of those stats. There goes Polanco. That one just missed down the right field line. Polanco headed back to first.
Pretty good company. The jump by Polanco, and it would have been fun to see that ball down the right field corner for a while. You'd have a 1-run lead. Sofield going through the signs.
Pirates had loaded the bases last inning. 2 walks, 1 intentional, and a double by Walker. Came up empty. 1-2 to Jay Hay. Inside, count even 2-2. Jay Hay's had some success against Lance Lynn, hitting .350 against the Cardinal right-hander. And the next pitch for Lynn will be his 50th of the ballgame in the 3rd inning. Outside, throws back to first, stepping back safely, Polanco.
Tony Cruz sending a message that don't take me for granted. Tested down there.
Moss missing the tag anyway. But Polanco was back ahead of whatever tag would have been made. Payoff pitch coming to Jay Hay.
Hey, Mo, pick him up.
Polanco goes and it's fouled off.
By the way, saw and heard Tim talk about Brandon Moss at first base. Matt Adams is active now, and so he was down for a while.
It's going to be interesting, too, Steve, to see what happens with the Cardinals for the playoff roster. Who makes it, who doesn't? Does Adams get on that playoff roster because he's missed so much time? Does he have to sit out? Even Lance Lynn, there's talk that maybe he doesn't get in the playoff rotation. Ground ball, that is thrown to left field. Polanco heading for 3rd. Runners on the corners and 1 out. Back-to-back base hits, Polanco and Harrison.
Another opportunity. We said at the beginning of the ball game that the Pirates have knocked Lance Lynn around to the tune of 3 starts this year with an ERA that's almost 7, 6.94. Here you see the way Josh Harrison worked Lance Lynn and cashes in and puts the Pirates in business again. Andrew McCutchen.
Is the 113th hit of Josh Harrison's season. Here is Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen struck out in the 1st.
You wonder, with Andrew having been walked so much, if he's a little bit frustrated, waiting for something he can drive and not seeing many drivable pitches. Sometimes that'll get you a little anxious. When he's had the chance and he's not been walked, he's not really been hot in recent games, but again, not much of a chance. And you wonder about the frustration.
He's had subpar numbers against Lynn.
Late on
7 for 43 against Lynn.
Yeah. Late on that pitch.
And with good velocity on the fastball. Usually he's around 93, 94, so he put a little extra on that. 57% of the time, you know you're going to get a fastball from him. It's just a matter of the location. That's just the 4-seam variety. Goes a 2-seamer.
Sitting with the upper hand now, 0-2.
No score, bottom of the 3rd. Pirates threatening with runners at the corners and 1 out, and Andrew McCutchen at the plate. The 0-2 from Lance Lynn on the way. One ball, 2 strikes.
Showing a lot of high heat. So much of the season we've seen pitchers try to bury that curveball, spike that curveball when they're ahead 0-2, 1-2 to try to get those swings at the breaking balls that are down underneath the strike zone. Lance Lynn has gone up high a couple times.
Again. Yep, up there again. pitch, hoping to be clutch once again here. The buck on the pond at third base. He can drive in. Another one at first. Solid. Can we get him? He jackknifed out of the way.
Yeah, almost got a shirt. So from 0-2 to 3-2. We haven't seen much other than fastballs in this at bat either. He's been leaning on his fastball. It's not been getting him in trouble. He's working hard.
Ball back again. This time J-Hay was on the move from first to second.
Now Cruz going out to talk to Lance Lynn. You wonder if he's going to go out. Hey Lance, you want to throw anything other than the fastball? Or you're going to just go ahead and throw it? I won't even put a finger down. Here's the veteran Lance Lynn talking to his inexperienced, by comparison, catcher.
Next pitch for Lynn will be his 25th of the inning. Hutchin has worked an extended at bat here. J-Hay will be taking off with a 3-2 count, 1 out. There he goes, and McCutchen walks.
Oh, close pitch, but Andrew gets the call. Maybe just missed a little bit outside, but here we go again. Pirates, bases loaded, 1 out. See how close this was. Good call, proper call. Not far from being a perfecta, and now Lilliquist will want to go out and spend a little time with his pitcher. 3 walks, 1 of which is intentional.
Second straight inning, the Pirates have loaded the bases, and you figure they're going to cash in at some point.
That was a tough pitch to take right there. Andrew did a good job. It's a tough pitch to do much with, but still, tough one to let go. Party like it's 1979. Yeah.
Partey like it's 1979.
Yeah.
Your hair's a little too short. You don't have enough sideburn for 79, but you can change that.
Well, we had our shares of that stuff in 71 too.
Marte walked his first time up.
I'd like to have a couple of sideburns right now to scotch tape on the top of my head.
All right,
here we go again.
With the bases full. 1 out. And the pitch. Outside for a ball. Marte is a very tough guy to double up to.
Yep. Almost a duplicate of location of that pitch that Andrew took. Another good take right there.
Coming. It's 1-1. And that's a fastball that McCutchen didn't see. That one was actually in the strike zone. McCutchen saw everything away, 1 inside. And that one was a hittable pitch.
He's just not going with any soft stuff, is he? Hard deliveries.
Till now.
Yep. Backs off there. Calling that kind of backdoor breaking ball. Usually you see those pitch, they try to deliver them on the outside corner. If that's by intent, that's a gutsy delivery. Miss inside, it's a ball. If you miss out over the plate, it's very hittable, but he delivered it perfectly.
Marte, a .381 hitter against Lynn. Lynn strikes him out with the bases loaded.
Frustration for Starling. That was a good 1-2 sequence that Lynn delivered. Remember, he was inside with a breaking ball, and now a cutter or fastball, unhittable. But because he set it up with the inside delivery, the previous pitch, He got starting to chase. That is I'm going to make a notation on that. That's a critical out that Lynn just got. He got a chance to escape again now, but he's not home free. Neil Walker doubled last time.
Ball one outside. Lynn has seen a lot of left-handed hitters this month, and they're hitting .317 against them in September. Pitch count is going to spike for Lance Lynn. Ball two. That was the 31st pitch of the inning for Lynn.
And he's frustrated now. He's going to indulge his catcher in a conversation, but not happy. Mike McKinney, former catcher. He empathizes when you got a catcher going out to try to help the pitcher. Sometimes the pitcher is not very polite. Those visits occur.
66 total pitches, and without Yadier Molina to be basically another pitching coach, that's one of the ways that they miss Molina. Walker swing and a miss.
And these fastballs are being delivered 95 miles an hour, and that's fast. But there's a lot of Pirates that can be expecting a whole lot other than the fastball. Quite a bit behind these 95 mile an hour fastballs.
Cervelli waits on deck. 2 men out, bases loaded, no score. And a 2-ball, 1-strike pitch to Neil Walker. 2-2.
And now you wonder, again, because if you're geared for fastball, and that's what you've been seeing, that's what everybody's been seeing. If he softens up, you have an issue.
Polanco, the runner at third base. Josh Harrison is over at second. And Andrew McCutchen is at first. Walker trying to get him in. Bounce to first base. Moss will take it himself. And the Pirates have the bases loaded for 2 straight innings and come up empty. No score as we go to the 4th. Off-field fun as they fly to Colorado dressed up as their favorite superheroes. That and much more inside Pirates baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network, tonight after Pirates postgame on Root Sports. UPMC scoreboard shows no score. Cardinals and Pirates, game 1 of this big 3-game National League Central Division Series. Marte striking out with the bases full. Walker grounding out with the bases loaded. Tell you, Lance Lynn should go play the lottery or something right now. He's had the bases loaded on him in 2 consecutive innings and hasn't given up a run.
Well, he should be dressed like Houdini.
He's thrown a lot of pitches already, though. Matt Carpenter batting for the 2nd time in the game. Takes a strike. He struck out swinging in the first.
Well, we had our tips to win, but we should have added a 3rd. Don't miss any opportunities you get. Take advantage of any opportunities. You don't know how many you're going to get.
Check swing roller to Pedro. He'll step on the bat. 1 up. Carpenter's 0 for 2. Stephen Piscotty will bat next. He lined out to Jay Hay first time up. Hit the ball right on the nose, too. Jay Hay was positioned perfectly and made the catch.
Here's an example. It doesn't have to be pretty. Lance Lynn has not given up a run in 3 innings. He's been in all kind of trouble. Jay Happ has not given up a run in 3 innings. He's been pristine. As long as you get it done, everything else is details. It's those zeros that count. And talked about getting Lance Lynn early before he gets locked in. Now he's escaped. Now he's not going to be around a lot longer because of the pitch count you're talking about. But he's, you know, sometimes you see these guys work and they're just barely getting out of jams, and then all of a sudden they get squeaky clean. So we've missed a couple of real good chances.
Scotty out on 3 pitches.
This is impressive work. Continuing to be impressive work for Jay Happ.
3rd strikeout of the game for Jay.
Yep. Didn't want to go, but couldn't hold up.
An elevated fastball. That's
the temptation.
Kind of effect it has.
The temptation of every batter. High fastballs.
Well, Happ now will face Matt Holliday, who grounded out to Neil Walker to end the 1st inning. Scotty's 0 for 2.
The familiar countenance of Matt Holliday. Intensity.
Take a strike here. Holliday had a right quad strain. On the DL twice this year. He's missed a big chunk of time. A little tapper. And he's not running. That's a fair ball. For some reason, Holliday didn't run. And Jay Happ retires the side in order again. He is at the minimum through 4. Allegheny Health Network Super Bowl with some great shots. And don't miss Seether at Stage AE October 11th. Pirates half of the fourth inning. Still scoreless at PNC Park. Francisco Cervelli to face Lance Lynn. Ball 1 to Cervelli.
Well, let's try it again. Load him up again.
October is coming.
I look alive.
Just a few days away. These guys are kind of scary.
Pirates are. But I won't be convinced until one of them comes in with a parrot on their shoulder.
A live one?
Yeah.
On the corner. 1-2. 3-0-1. Cervelli. Real nice job with the bat. Well, there's another live parrot, Steve.
Yep.
Hard to get him on your shoulder.
I was just going to say that'd be a tough program.
Ground ball to Peralta. One down. The pierogies are all lined up.
Oh, yeah. Creative.
Potato Pete.
Well presented.
Look at that. Potato Pete just took the lead. Cheese Chester.
I got my money on Oliver tonight.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. I got inside information. Which means a guess.
Pitch to Pedro. Alvarez was intentionally walked. First time up. Pedro has 2 career home runs against Lynn. A lot of teams we see against Alvarez like to throw him the changeup away. The Cardinals don't. They continue to throw fastballs to Alvarez more often than not. Pitch outside. It's 3-0. See if they put him on here.
You got a real good chance. 3-0.
Set up way outside, and they pitch around Pedro, and he walks. Unintentional, intentional walk.
Number 4 on the night.
The Reds come to town to battle the Bucks Saturday at 7:05. Make sure to stay after the game for a Zambelli Fireworks show. And everyone takes home great prizes on the Neaton Park Scratch and Win Saturday. Plus, all fans take home a 2016 Pirates Magnetic Schedule. Thanks to PNC Bank. For tickets, go to pirates.com. And you can be in the seats. There are still tickets remaining to any one of the remaining home games, including this Cardinals series. There are some seats left for tomorrow night, Wednesday night, and of course the Reds. Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoon. The Sunday afternoon game, a 3 o'clock game. 1-0 pitch to Jordy Mercer. 2-0. Oh yeah, gotta have the beard. Young Pedro lookalikes. Jordy awaits the 2-0 pitch from Lance Lynn. Alvarez short lead at first base, and Lynn ready to deliver. Strike call.
That's a little reflection on the way the game is now. They're behind 2-0 in the count, so they'll just throw a fastball to get it over. It's still 92 miles an hour.
Mercer fouls it back, evening the count at 2-2.
Now back up to 94. Real fine job Jordy Mercer has been doing. You know, and the interesting thing is, Tim, that people say, well, he picked it up because Gong went down. No, these guys are trying just as hard when they're hitting 220 as they are when they're hitting 340. I mean, putting as much work in, trying just as hard. People got to realize that. It's just it kicked in for him.
Ground ball to Peralta at short. Long the turn. Safe at first is Mercer. Cowboys out on the force out. And Jordy aboard on the fielder's choice. Turned just a little too late at second.
Straight on for Pedro to see what he can do to disrupt the throw. Moss takes the throw. By the way, Matt Adams is activated right now, so they've got him available. We already mentioned that. A little rusty after 10 days off, but a lot of people just joining us now.
Well, WD-40 helps.
Yep.
Two outs, and the batter is the pitcher, Jay Happ. Strike one to Jay. .053. You do know Sunday's game's a 3 o'clock game, right?
I do now.
You know why?
No, I knew it before too, but you just mentioned it 2 minutes ago.
You know why it is, right? 3 o'clock?
No, I don't.
So everybody has the same game time on Sunday, the last day of the regular season. So that the Cardinals last year in Arizona played later. Wainwright was warming up in the bullpen. The Pirates lost to Cincinnati. They pulled him from the bullpen, saved him for the playoffs. So everybody's got to play at the same time this year. And Happ strikes out for the second time. No runs, no hits, one left. On to the 5th inning, a scoreless ball game.
Baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Chevy Cruze and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
On this date, 1966, the Pirates swept a doubleheader from the Phillies, bringing them within a game and a half of the first-place Dodgers. Steve Blass got the win in Game 1, pitching 4 1/3 scoreless innings of relief for Billy O'Dell. Jim Bunning took the loss for the Phils, giving up 2 8 innings. Game 2, Bob Veal pitched a complete game for his 16th win. Pirates took the lead in the 8th on an RBI double by Roberto Clemente. Don Clendenin then drove him in with an RBI single as the Bucks won 4-2.
Nice to sweep doubleheaders.
Yeah. How come he only went 4 1/3 that day?
I told him I was tired. That was the 27th out.
Oh well, he still got them both.
Yep.
Still won them both.
Billy O'Dell, Digger O'Dell, great teammate, veteran. He came over to join the Pirates. he mastered a very nice move. Left-hander. He would, when he was pitching, get dirt all over the pitching rubber. Then when he got in a tough spot, he'd take his windup from about 1.5 feet in front of the rubber and gain about 16 miles an hour on his fastball. All he needed to do was he saved it for one situation. He was a master at that. Learn a lot from the veterans. Cover that up. They won't catch on the first one.
2-0 to Hayward.
The base coaches will always holler to the umpire, hey, he just threw that from in front of the rubber. And all right, we'll keep an eye on him. Meanwhile, the inning's over.
Means, yeah, exactly.
It's done. Done deal. He saved it for the right time.
2-0 to Hill. Mercer on the one hop. Plants and throws, and he gets it.
Bertie Mercer. And Jay Happ. Taking it nicely on the backhand side. Smooth stuff over across. Jay Happ, with the help of these kind of plays, just getting it done. He's allowed one base runner as a base hit. That runner was retired. He is continuing to face the minimum. Every pitcher likes their defense and should.
Johnny Peralta flying to right field in the second inning. 0 for 1 for Peralta tonight. One down, base is empty, and the pitch. 2 balls and no strikes. You know, Steve, we've been scoreboard watching so much this month that really there's not much to watch tonight as far as the scoreboard's concerned, because it's right here. It's all right here in front of you.
Live in front of your face. He was talking to me the other day. Well, the finish line is in sight. I said, no, it's out there, horizon. It's kind of vague as to where the finish line is going to be for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Still is vague. There's a lot that could happen this week. The Pirates control that. 2-1. Peralta flares one into shallow right. Polanco on the run will make the catch.
He outruns another one.
This Sunday is Fan Appreciation Day as the Pirates take on the Reds at 3:05. All kids 14 and under get eye black to wear. Compliments of Chick-fil-A. The #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone is the place to be before the game with fun activities. After the game, kids run the bases, courtesy of the original Pizza Logs. For tickets, pirates.com.
Jay Happ has been incredibly efficient. That's pitch number 44, I believe, delivered as he works with 2 outs in the 5th inning. He has been absolutely terrific.
0-1 to Moss. Foul tip into the glove of Cervelli. 0-2 to Moss. Moss turned out to be a pretty solid pickup by the Cardinals from the Cleveland Indians. He actually played here at PNC Park earlier this year as an Indian. Cardinals having some problems with Matt Adams.
He's active, by the way.
Is he active?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
In case you're just joining us.
But they needed to shore up the first base position.
There he is.
And Matt Adams is back. Pennsylvania.
Slippery Rock.
Two balls and 2 strikes. To Brandon Moss. Haps 2-2 on the way. Struck him out.
Wow. Do it, Jay.
Jay's just giving up the 1 hit. And as the Panthers head to Blacksburg to battle the Virginia Tech Hokies, it all kicks off live Saturday at noon on Road Sports. UPMC scoreboard still scoreless, and Jay Happ has been phenomenal tonight. It's the minimum through 5 innings now.
He's faced 15 batters. Yeah, that's the way it works.
And now the Pirates need to get this guy some runs, don't they?
Yes.
And he's doing his part. And Polanco 1 for 2. Had a single in the 3rd inning. Takes outside for a ball. Right around now, you'd think is the time that they need to get to Lance Lynn. He's up around 85, 86 pitches now.
Well, working hard for one more inning, and then you're going to get some attention in that bullpen for sure.
We're up to right. Polanco around first. He's headed for second. Here comes the throw. Leadoff double for Gregory.
Don't take that last step past the base. That's all about speed, because Piscotty made a good play to get the ball off the bounce off the wall. Got out there in a hurry to watch Lance Lynn. Another good-looking swing. Good-looking at bat. Leadoff man on second base.
See Lynn trying to go down and in there, Steve, and Polanco right on it.
Get back this. I can't understand why he took that extra step, and he can't either. But he's there. It's okay. Yeah, you don't go down and in to left-hand hitters all that often without getting burned. They go down. They love to scoop it up.
Now do you get into some small ball here? Nope. Ground ball to the left side. Polanco running, and he is out at third base.
Can't believe it.
And that's a play that you never want to see if you're a Pittsburgh Pirate fan. You don't want to see a guy running from second to third on a ground ball right in front of him.
And the thing that's tempting is it's a high chop, so you think that third baseman has committed. That's what's going through his mind. But this is the big leagues. These guys recover, and you pay the price. Simple as that. Nothing ball game.
Tagged him on the arm, didn't he?
Oh boy.
Well, got him on the hand on the way by. The Pirates have had a man thrown out at the plate tonight. They've had a man thrown out at third. And you make the first out of the inning at third base. That is one of baseball's no-nos.
You would wonder if Josh is going to run, but if he does and succeeds, then they'd work around Andrew again, maybe. So let's see what happens with Josh. 2-0. They just don't seem to want any part of Andrew. Although, well, the first inning there were 2 outs, nobody on, so sure, it's against him. But if Lance Lynn continues to play with fire, he will get burned.
Down the left field line and hooking. Straighten that one out.
Might have had the distance if it curled right around the foul pole. Down that corner. Or as they say, it didn't.
One on, one out. 2 balls and a strike to Kutch. Three and one. See the wheels turning a little bit, but not much to turn at this point. And a ground ball to short. And McCutcheon safe at first, and a bad throw by Wong.
I don't know if it was completely clean from Peralta either.
Just a little clutch, extra clutch there.
And that can create a hurry at second base. There's a runner bearing down on you like Josh was, so still in business.
Two outs, McCutcheon at first and Starling Marte as a batter. Harrison forced out at second.
See if Andrew would think about trying to move.
Ground ball wide to third, strike one.
Well, all things considered, whether Pirates have had chances and not cashed them in or not, isn't this kind of what we expected for the series? A whole lot of pitching. There are zeros. Doesn't matter how they get up there. They're zeros. So
top two teams in baseball, the top two pitching staffs in baseball. Continuing to stay away from Marte. And Marte continues to go after that pitch just off the corner. Nobody up in the Cardinal pen. 95 pitches for Lance Lynn.
Yep, a little surprising. Quite surprising.
0-2 to Marte. Strike three call.
Maybe that's why.
Scoreless game through 5.
Is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Kenny Ross. Just ask a neighbor. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier of the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Here's the stretch for the pierogi race. Around the corner they go. They're down across the right field warning track. Who did you pick, Steve? Oliver?
Yeah, he was boxed out illegally. The inquiry sign is up.
Yeah. Sauerkraut Saul breaks the tape. Jay Happ facing Colton Wong. Wong owns the only hit against Happ tonight.
Solid single to left, legit. Nothing sketchy about it.
And he was doubled off. After that, Cruz hit into the double play. And another strike, and it's 0-2.
He's been doing it all night long.
Point Park University tweet says, line him up, and Jay Happ will hold him down.
That's what he's been doing.
And a bouncer to second base. chest high hop for Walker, and he's one away.
Special work. This is how efficient that Jay Happ has been as we take a look at the pitches by inning. The biggest number, 12 pitches. Second inning, 6. I mean, just been terrific. Absolutely terrific.
Tony Cruz, the batter. Cardinal catcher takes a strike.
Keeps the pressure on these first pitch strikes.
Steve Cishek has gotten up, the sidewinder beginning to loosen up. The right center, and over to get it is Polanco, battling the lights and winning.
Yep. Those humpback line drives that don't get quite high enough to get over the lights will challenge you. Watch him. You can tell trying to get a side angle on it and stays with it. That's good concentration. Good play.
Randall. That was a good play by Polanco.
Pinch hitter.
Yeah, Randall Grichuk is going to hit for Lance Lynn.
So we might see Shaq the Bendigo.
That's Bob Walk's name for him. So Lynn's night comes to a close. He had traffic all around him in every inning but the first.
Did a lot of pitching.
And managed to escape. 1-1. Now Grichuk, the guy who's been battling shoulder injury, he normally would be starting because his offense has been terrific. 17 home runs for the Cardinals and a .281 average, but he's just got issues throwing from the outfield. And lines this one to Marte.
Good, Jay.
Jay Happ has faced the minimum number of hitters through 6 full innings. Pirates trying to get him some runs when we come back.
Even though he's not playing in the ballgame, same can be said for the new relief pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, Steve Cishek. Each of the two guys were named one of the 15 finalists for the Bob Feller Act of Valor Award. The two were recognized tonight on the field in a pregame ceremony. See, with members of our military. Charlie Morton told me a lot of people do a lot of things that go unnoticed. And quite honestly, I am flattered to have my name associated with the wonderful Bob Feller. This is the 3rd season of the Bob Feller Act of Valor Award that it's been given out. The inaugural winners were back in 2013, Justin Verlander of the Detroit Tigers and the late Yogi Berra. Last year it was Nick Swisher and Dodgers legend Tommy Lasorda. So good stuff for both Steve Cishek and Charlie Morton earlier today for good deeds they've done in the community and their qualities that most exemplify the late, great Bob Feller, Tim.
Rapid Robert. Thank you very much, Robbie. I know that anytime Charlie was overwhelmed. He's so mellow and easygoing. Sure, it was a surprise to him. He's just Charlie being Charlie.
Yeah. He's always been, not just this year, he's always been involved with issues with military and veterans. Tip of the cap to both of those gentlemen.
Neil Walker will lead off against Cishek. Cishek was acquired from the Marlins on the 24th of July. He's got a bit of an awkward delivery and pre-pitch stance. He faces Walker, who has a double tonight. And the Pirates into the Cardinal bullpen. Cishek last worked an inning on the 26th against Milwaukee. This one was fouled back.
A lot of moving parts in that delivery. Almost looks like a little double jointed. Things going on with the body and the arm.
Fouled off again. Ball and 2 strikes to Neal.
Let's slow it down as it gets all curled up. See, the arm goes way in back of the body, and then a lot of strain on that elbow. Ouch. There's this thing sticking out from that elbow, tendons and ligaments and razor blades and bottle caps, Scotch tape.
Anything else? Anything else you can think of?
That's yeah, masking tape,
the Scotch
carpet
tape
tacks, 2x4s, roofing nails.
Walker awaits the 2-2 from Cishek. Caught a piece of it. Cruz had set up outside looking for the pitch there. Neal doubled in the second inning and then grounded out with the bases full in the third. Still a scoreless ball game in the bottom of the 6th inning. So 6 pitches, 7 coming. The last outing that Cishek worked, it took him 11 pitches to get 3 outs. Outside, Neal holds up. Count full, 3-2. Valley waiting on deck. Francisco 0 for 2 tonight. Everything's been to the outside for Walker. And there is another one outside, and that is ball 4. Pirates with a base runner to lead off their half of the 6th. Time now for our Data Strong fan photo of the game, brought to you by T-Mobile. From the happiest place on earth, Steve, they are racing the Jolly Roger in Orlando.
Yeah.
With that, Disney World gets a Jolly Roger.
It's a fun place for sure.
Good stuff. Thank you for that photo. I love seeing the photos from around the country and around the world even. With Jolly Roger flying or folks in Pirates gear.
That one you had last homestand from Bora Bora.
Yeah, that was a good one. Out in one of those glass bottom huts.
Yeah. Just dial up some distance.
Yeah, they had the Jolly Roger hanging from the railing overlooking the sea.
Now there's a hairdo right there. There's a do.
No other place like this place. Cervelli is Superman behind home plate.
He has been super.
Here's the pitch to Cervelli. Tying away. Remember, he was Superman when the Pirates dressed up as superheroes from Dodger Stadium to Denver, the last road trip. We'll see that feature on Inside Pirates Baseball coming up after the game. October. It's going to happen.
Number 32 is making it happen too tonight. More activity. No manager likes to see a reliever come in and walk the first man. So that sends out the alert to the Cardinal bullpen. Cishek has had control problems. Something like 24 strikeouts in 53 innings. That's too many.
Seth Maness warming up. He gave up 3 runs to the Brewers in the 9th yesterday. Nobody out. Walker at first.
Pirates having to adjust to some soft stuff after seeing a lot of fastballs from Lance Lynn.
And soft stuff too from a different release point. I mean, that's just not your.
Yeah, he hides the ball so well. He goes so far in back of his back. You can see the ball and the glove, part of the glove, on the other side of his body.
Two and two now to Cervelli.
He goes way back, and then sinking fastball running way down in there. Rather harsh, but like the thought. Well, they've already done it. The Cardinals.
Cervelli down on strikes. Let's go back to our Root Sports studio for the State Farm Game Break with Rob King. That's kind of written into the script when it comes to Boston and New York play. Pedro Alvarez standing up right now. 1 out, 1 on. First base occupied. They got a pitch to him. Momentarily they will.
Cishek has given up 4 home runs. All of a sudden, they're hollering for Pedro.
Outside for ball 1. And remember, in 2013, the Pirates' first playoff run of these 3 straight playoff seasons, the chance of let's go Pedro, and the Cardinals certainly heard enough of that. That series going to 5 games, and when the Cardinals were here, this place just echoed with that chant every time Pedro came to the plate.
Well, when you guys were in Colorado, I almost drove off the road and heading back from somewhere. Pedro just hit that vapor trail home run to send the Pirates out in front for that win.
Pedro's walked twice tonight. He's walked 45 times this year, 11 times against the Cardinals.
He's hurt them. It's
and then I walk him again. It's 3-0. Pedro has not seen a strike in any of his 3 plate appearances yet.
They have walked 5. Pedro's got 2 of them.
And they walk him for a 3rd time. 2 walks in the inning for Cishek. Now the Pirates have a man in scoring position as Walker is pushed over to second base. First and second, 1 out. Time for Jordy Mercer to come up with a big hit.
Well, again, you can see the strategy. They want to get on the other side of Pedro. They like the chances better with right hand hitting Jordy Mercer, and then Happ in the on-deck circle. And hard for Clint Hurdle to do anything about Happ. I mean, he's just been that good, although who knows? These are different times.
Strike to Mercer. Just another note on Alvarez. This is the third time he has walked 3 times in a game. All 3 times have been against St. Louis.
You've got to make them pay for these free passes. That's 6 now.
0-1 coming to Jordy. That one is going to get caught by Hayward. Well, Jason Hayward tore up some turf, and he is shaken up.
He has made 2 really fine plays. He's part of that double play early on when the bases are loaded, and now didn't back off this play, but made the commitment in a 0-0 ball game. That is huge. Hit right on the button. Didn't catch, and he'll repair his divot.
His left knee. Look how much grass was taken up by his right knee, actually. Man, that had to have some sort of feel to it. Now the Pirates are going to be forced into making a move here. They do not necessarily want to take Jay Happ out of this ball game. It's been the best game he's pitched as a Pirate for sure. Perhaps his best game all season this year. 56 pitches for Happ. He faced the minimum through 6. But the Buccos need to find a way to score a run. And so they're going to bring up a guy who's been their most productive pinch hitter in Michael Morse. Be happy. Time for Morris, a former teammate of Cishek this year with the Marlins. The pitch. Strike 1. Morris has only faced Cishek 4 times. He's 1 for 4 against him. But what a night for Jay Happ. It comes to an end too early. Just 1 hit given up for Happ. 2 on, 2 out. Well, Steve, these games with the Cardinals this year have been like an overgrown staring contest, and whoever blinks loses. Pirates have won 8. The Cardinals have won 8.
Yep, it's been that tight.
Two balls, 1 strike to Morse.
So close, but we get the call.
Morse 10 for 31 as a pinch hitter.
Please, please get a hit for Jay Happ. He deserves it.
3-1.
Again, the struggles with control for Cishek.
Gregory Polanco on deck. Gregory's 2 for 3. Cardinals have Seth Maness ready in the bullpen. 3-1 to Morse. Ball 4, and for the 3rd time in the game, the bases are full of Bucks. 3 walks for Cishek. That's going to be it for him. The next walk will be taken by Mike Matheny, his manager, out to get him. And Maness, their ground ball specialist, will come in. Cardinals will make a pitching change. Still scoreless, bottom of the 6th. Bases loaded for the Pirates.
Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Still no score. Bottom of the 6th inning. Bases loaded, 2 down. Michael Morris, the pinch hitter, walks. Jay Happ out of the ball game. Jeff Decker pinch running for Morse. And the Cardinals taking Cishek out after he has walked the bases loaded. And Seth Maness will take over to try to get the Cardinals out of a jam again.
His numbers, you can see that one number down toward the bottom. Home runs, he's given up 7 home runs. That's a lot out of the bullpen. In case you're wondering, a couple of wild pitches. You don't have Molina in there. Just saying.
You see opponents hitting .308 against them, but lefties hitting better than that against Maness. Polanco 0 for 3 against him, so he's due for a hit against the right-hander. And he looks at ball 1.
It's a very quick release, quick delivery Maness has. Just when you step in the box, be ready.
And Maness, see the numbers there, 358 lefties are hitting against him. And there's a strike on the corner. Yesterday, Maness was victimized by the Brewers for 3 runs. Brewers came back and handed the Cardinals an 8-4 loss after the Cardinals were up in that ball game late. In the air to right, and this will be playable for Piscotty, and the Pirates are going to leave the bases loaded again. The Pirates just cannot break the ice tonight. A game of missed opportunities here. This was the double play. Marte trying to score on the short fly ball. And Marte striking out with the bases loaded. Walker comes up next and grounds out to Moss. So they had the bases loaded twice already, unable to come up with anything, and the bases loaded on 3 walks. This was the 5th inning. And Polanco thrown out for the first out. And then here are the bases loaded. Polanco pops out to right. So a game of missed opportunities for the Pirates.
Yep.
And the Cardinals haven't had any opportunities. It's still, the score is 0-0.
Baseball. Yep. I think you can predict outcomes.
Pirates have left 10 men on base. The Cardinals nobody. And here's Joakim Soria. Soria will take over for Jay Happ, facing Matt Carpenter, and he deals a strike. Well, Happ came to work and did his job tonight.
Well, he certainly did. And those are difficult decisions for a manager. You try to go for a run and then run the table, or do you send your pitcher up there knowing that he really doesn't do a good job with the bat? And managers have to make that before. I mean, they're making the first step. You can second guess it all you want, but they're required to make the decision that they feel is right before the outcome is decided. Simple as that.
Carpenter strikes out. Soria hoping to keep the roll going that Happ was on. He starts off in a good way, striking out Carpenter.
Chasing a high fastball. It doesn't get much better than the job that Happ did tonight. Simple as that. Carpenter frustrated.
Stephen Piscotty takes outside. Well, if you keep Carpenter off base, you've got a good chance to win the ballgame. It's not like he's going to be a leadoff guy who steals a lot of bases, but he gets base hits at key times with runners on, gets a lot of doubles, and this year he's really upped his home run count. 27 of those.
Yeah, Carpenter's a professional major leaguer. I don't think anybody will argue about that. He really is.
Two balls and no strikes to Piscotty. He was 0 for 2 tonight. He struck out last time up in the fourth. And Soria falls behind 3-0. Piscotty, one of a number of young Cardinal players who forced into big league duty due to injuries and has just stayed there because he's been productive. Kevin Segras, the left-hander, getting ready for the Cardinals in their bullpen.
Well, we like to feel that our minor league system is deep, and so the Cardinals. And both camps are right. Deep systems.
Soria comes back and fills up the count. Matt Holliday on deck. Soria digging in for the 3-2 pitch to Piscotty. Did he get him? Did not. Checked his swing, and the Cardinals with their first base runner since the third inning and the first free pass issued by Pirates pitching tonight. Nissan Road Ahead tomorrow on the air at 6:30 on Root Sports. Michael Wacha at 17-6 will oppose Charlie Morton. He's 9-8. And Tyler Lyons will go on Wednesday opposite Garrett Cole. Carlos Martinez was going to go on Wednesday, but he has been shut down for the rest of the year with a shoulder problem. And Michael Wacha set to go tomorrow. 17-6 for Wacha. Another good year for him. Charlie Morton will look for win number 10. 0-1 to Holliday. One's fouled back.
You know, you certainly want the Pirates to win all three of these games, but it's one of those situations they can't win all three tonight. So you just keep grinding, and you win tonight, and then try to start another winning streak of one game, as Teak was talking about in the pregame show, tomorrow night. If you win tomorrow night, just start another one-game winning streak on Wednesday. But it begins tonight. This will certainly set a tone.
And blocked by Cervelli there, keeping Piscotty at first base. Well, that's just it. And you know from your experience playing, Steve, you get to a point in the season where you don't worry about 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4 anymore. That's not even an issue. It's got to be that game that night, every night.
Yep. And just the volume of games. So many really good baseball people say you can't get too far up, you can't get too far down. Another one tomorrow night.
AJ working on his mechanics apparently. Holiday would not go after that pitch. It sailed outside. He loves to go to the right side.
He has worn us out to right field so many times.
He also is a good double play candidate.
I like that thought better.
2-2 from Soria. Well, Neville will get one out of this. First time in the ballgame, the Cardinals have a runner in scoring position. 2 down. For the most part this year, Steve, when you follow what the Cardinals have done in terms of scoring runs, they haven't beaten teams over the head. In other words, they might have a first and third situation and a runner, you know, and it's a double play and a run scores from third, or a runner beats out a double play ball and a run scores with 2 out. They're not getting. I mean, all the runs count, obviously, but they've really had to scratch out a lot of the wins that they have, and they've got more than anybody. And there's a ground ball toward the middle. Walker knocks it down and saves a run. Hayward's safe, but by Walker knocking that down, Oquendo holds Piscotty at third.
Nope. Neal gave up the body. Probably a pretty good idea. He was not going to be able to get an out, but he can save the ball game for the time being. That's exactly what he did. Nowhere to go.
Just got the heel of the glove on the baseball and prevented it from going into center field. First and third, 2 out. Peralta, the hitter. He takes a strike. Peralta has flied out twice to right field.
And now part of the spotlight goes on Francisco Cervelli with a runner at third base. Soria has thrown 5 wild pitches, so Francisco be on alert.
Strike 2.
What a nice looking pitch that was. 92 miles an hour, beautifully delivered. Right in under the hands. Yep, he has reason to discuss it, but the Pirates get the call.
Everybody rising here at PNC Park. 0-2. Fouled it off.
That is something. Everybody on their feet. Scoreless ball game. Pirates not batting. This is a defensive stand-up. That's sort of 30-some thousand people that are into this baseball game.
Soria's been in these situations, but later in the game, as he has been a closer with the Tigers, Royals. Good block by Cervelli, 1-2.
And all it does is extend the drama. And we've said it so many times. This kind of stuff is why you buy tickets. Why you watch. Why you root for the home team. There's no urging. Just these people are into it.
Joaquin Soria with a 1-2 count on Peralta. Struck him out. Stretch time at PNC Park. struck out to end the inning. Joakim Soria got him. He had 2 strikeouts in the inning. And this was the pitch that did it.
Another good block by Cervelli, and the Pirates keep it a one-run possibility in this ball game. Keep it 0-0 for the time being. Came into it.
Soria getting it done in the 7th. Piscotty now moves over to left field for the Cardinals. And Peter Borges is in center field. He'll come in as a defensive replacement late, and they'll move Hayward from center over to right field. They'll get Holiday out of the ball game. And Kevin Segrist is the new pitcher, left-hander for the Cardinals. He'll face 2, 3, and 4 in the Pirates order: Harrison, McCutchen, and Marte.
Something's got to give.
Well, these are the kind of games, for the most part, the Pirates and Cardinals have had this year.
You remember the drama just before the All-Star break. That was intense. Incredible atmosphere. McCutchen home run, and then the trail of singles to win it the next night.
Strike 1 to Harrison. Josh has a base hit tonight, 1 for 3. Andrew McCutchen on deck, hoping to get something done against the left-hander Segrist,
who has given up 4 home runs.
And 1 to Harrison.
Boy, what great fan involvement during that whole at bat. Soria reported the strikeout. He realized they were standing and getting rewarded. A little short on that delivery.
That was a good observation.
Yeah, well, I'm all over stating the obvious.
It was 2-1 to Harrison. Segrist worked in the game yesterday. Got a good view, doesn't he?
Yeah. Got it covered.
Segrist had 15 pitches in the game against the Brewers yesterday afternoon. Here's the pitch. Inside again, and it's 3-1. Josh has hit safely in 11 of his last 16. Pirates so far tonight have looked a gift horse in the mouth. They've been walked 6 times. Have not scored a run. Count full to Harrison. The bases loaded 3 times in this game. And somehow, some way, each time the Cardinals have been able to wriggle off the hook.
Kind of a heavy control ratio. 73 innings, 32 walks. That's a lot of walks. Watch Tony Watson get ready.
Payoff pitch. This one hit well to left center field. Piscotty over, and he won't get it. Borges collides with him. Did he catch it? Yes, he did. Harrison around third. Piscotty is out, and Borges waiting for the medical team of the Cardinals to come get him. Piscotty. Oh boy, the collision between he and Borges, and you can see the blood coming out of the nose of Stephen Piscotty. You could hear the medical team.
They want a card.
Saying, don't move them. They're asking for a card, I guess, right?
That, I would think that's what's happening. I don't want to speculate.
Pirates medical staff helping out as well. Josh Harrison didn't know the ball was caught, kept on running until he was told, but now a somber atmosphere around PNC Park. Vicious collision between Peter Borges and Stephen Piscotty.
A new outfield configuration for the Cardinals. And there's the card coming out to stabilize.
Ben Potenziano, Todd Tomczyk, Pirates trainers assisting the Cardinals. You see the way that Borges, when he got up, immediately waved for the bench to get somebody out there. You knew Piscotty might have been in trouble.
Here right away when medical personnel got out there hollering, "Don't move, don't move, don't move." So stabilizing Cardinal outfielder is going to be priority one. Some 30+ thousand people, very quiet.
Getting him on the board right now. And these are the times when the game seems a lot less important than anything else. To players and staff on both teams. Teammates. And opponents. A few moments ago, Steve, after the strikeout of Peralta, this place was in a frenzy. Now a hush.
Yep.
Doctors are out.
Yeah. A lot of fans rooting for one player right now. So they put him on the board, and of course we all know down in the right field corner there's an ambulance here for every ball game. So he will be obviously taken to a hospital for observation, and hopefully we get good reports.
So we wish the best to Stephen Piscotty right now. One of the doctors going with him.
Yep. Cardinal fans, Pirate fans rooting for one player.
Pitcher Kevin Segrist. He'll have to get back to work with something else on his mind. Stephen Piscotty being carted off after a violent collision with Peter Borges, the center fielder. He did give a little wave there, Steve, which is a positive sign.
Sure. Absolutely.
Now, we are going to show you this one time, and if you don't want to see it, look away, because this is a violent collision that we're going to show you.
And this is in slow motion, super-mo. So you see the knee. Well, you see what you see.
And he's out. Oh. John Jay will go out to left field.
And we will continue, and we will be hopeful that we can give you a positive report. We're all hoping for that.
As Piscotty went off, the crowd applauding, and he did wave his left hand.
Dr. Ed Snell in the front seat of the buggy. Our team doctor.
So now the players have to pick up where they left off here. Andrew McCutchen will come up to face Segrist. Harrison flying out to center.
And will Andrew get anything to hit here?
McCutchen does not have a hit. He's 0 for 2 tonight with a walk. And Cruz setting up outside for him. Strike one on a foul ball.
95-mile-an-hour delivery.
One to McCutchen. That's inside. 2 balls and a strike. Segrist the stretch and the 2-1 to McCutchen. 2-2. Clint Hurl was asked earlier today, Steve, about Andrew, the fact that he hasn't had a lot of hits lately. He's had a lot of walks. He's not had a lot of hits, and occasionally when he's had pitches to hit, he hasn't cashed in very much. And as far as Clint is concerned, he said, you know, we know this guy's history. He said, for me, he's just one day closer to getting hot, and we know he gets into these hot periods. Three and 2.
And the Cardinals 1 pitch away from walking their 7th.
The payoff on the way to Andrew McCutchen from left-hander Kevin Segrist. There's a base hit. 1-out single for McCutchen.
Really good at bat for Andrew. turns on that ball inside, just was able to get the hands in far enough, deliver the base hit. The Pirates have not stolen a base. They've taken off several times, some foul balls and different things happening. Certainly not any easier against the left-hand pitcher.
Starling Marte hoping to get into the offense now. Bottom of the 7th, still scoreless. You know, the ironic thing, Steve, is it's the same situation at Wrigley Field right now. They're playing a makeup game with the Kansas City Royals, and they're scoreless in the 7th.
The screws tightened last week of the season, regular season.
Throw to first. Side to Marte. Ball and no strike. Seager's taking his time, certainly paying attention to McCutchen.
Yeah, you wonder how much that intrudes on his concentration once he makes up his mind to leave first base and address the hitter. It's obvious they're concerned. The throw's over to first base. They have to be concerned. Decent lead for Andrew. Not great.
Ball, 1 strike to Marte. Clint's been through a lot of these battles.
We have played a lot of one-run games, played a lot of low-scoring games.
Seems like a good portion of them have been with the team in red.
Yep.
Low to first base. McCutchen gets back barely. Just got his right hand on the bag before the tag of Brandon Moss.
Very quick move. That's as good a camera work as you can find. A super Mo. Great shot. See the hand, you see the tag. See the obvious safe call.
Up in the air to center field. Borges getting under it. McCutchen bluffs the run to second base, drawing a throw, and there are now 2 men out. Hashtag Bucks Booth to get us here in the booth, and some tweets wishing Stephen Piscotty the best at this point in time. Just an absolute vicious collision. Absolutely vicious out there. Colliding with Peter Borges. The ball hit by Josh Harrison deep to left center. Walker batting right-handed against Seager.
You've got to find a big gap or rolling around in the corner. 2 outs. Andrew will be off on contact. Playing deep, no doubles.
Go to first again. Paying an awful lot of attention to McCutchen. This has not been McCutchen's year in terms of stolen bases. Only 10. He's been caught 5 times. And a lot of times with 2 outs he hasn't taken off. But the Cardinals want to make sure he stays close. And the throw to first. gets the lead.
Try it again.
There's the 1-0 now. There goes Kutch. He had a good jump. That's stolen base number 11.
Couldn't have come at a better time. Almost like he had that feel, that gut feel that Segrist was going to go to home plate. Yep. Terrific jump. No chance of getting Andrew McCutchen on that play. And the Pirates now in position.
Stays right on the base. Wong applies the tag. Now Segrist and Tony Cruz conversing.
Yeah, and now the Cardinal defense have to soften up a little bit. They can't have Carpenter sitting on the third base line. Maybe not playing quite as deep because they've got to give themselves a chance to make a play at home plate on a base hit. Although McCutchen has great speed. There's 2 outs. Yep. There's a shot of the alignment in the outfield. And Andrew's going to get a great jump. Because they have to play pretty honest up the middle. Not wanting the ball to get through.
Tied 0 for 7 for the Pirates with runners in scoring position. And they have had the bases loaded in the game 3 times. The go-ahead run at second. That's McCutchen. 2-1 to Walker. Bounced. 3-1.
I was looking to see if Segrist has thrown a wild pitch. He has not. Then I think of who their catcher usually is. Mr. Molina doesn't let too many get by.
I'm sure he saved a few. More than a few. 3-1. Good hitters count for Walker. Take a ground ball up the middle.
Yeah, I want that exit speed to be something like 15, 16 miles an hour, a little flare over the first baseman's head.
That worked too. A lot of possibilities. Touch off second base. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Way out in front, pulled the string on him. Big time pitch by Segrist. Well, you can see that bat way out in front. The one-handed swing at the finish will usually give an indication of a swing that was earlier than it was intended to be.
Hard shot. Peralta bobbles it.
But he, like Walker, saves the run. What Walker did earlier. And now they turn the tables as he got maybe caught in between hops.
An error on Johnny Peralta.
Yeah, he got caught in between hops. Well, they scored an error. It's something that might get changed later on, or at least examined. But anyway, point being that the Pirates are 90 feet away from first run in this ball game.
That ball got past Peralta. McCutchen would have scored, but Peralta kept it close enough. And now, with runners at first and third, it's up to Francisco Cervelli.
Remember how good he's been in the 7th inning and after, Major League leader.
Takes up high for a ball. Cervelli this year has established career highs in every offensive category. 367 in the 7th inning or later, Steve pointed out. 55 for 150. And just one measly little base hit would be nice, right?
Oh, yeah. Just do it one more time here, Francisco, and then do it again tomorrow and the next day. Tony Cruz is going to have to be on his toes if they want to try to keep the ball downstairs. Doesn't have to be pretty right now. It just has to be something.
1-0 pitch to Cervelli. 1-1. Well, we have an update, at least a brief update on Stephen Piscotty. The Cardinals have reported that initially it's a head contusion, and he has been taken to a local hospital.
It looked like the knee caught him as they got ready to tangle up and got a knee to the head.
First and third, 2 down, 1 ball, 1 strike pitch to Cervelli. In the dirt. Over Cervelli's career with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, he has a .308 batting average.
It was saved by Tony Cruz.
Trying to get that man home. No score. Extremely tight ball game. It's been watertight so far in terms of the score. And a strike.
Right at the knees.
Well, it's a nail biter tonight, turning into a white knuckler. Segrist ready to go. The 2-2. Inside, 3-2.
Wow, another tough take. That is such a difficult thing to lay off that pitch. The last thing you want to have happen is to be called out on strikes. And that didn't miss by much.
And Mike Matheny can only hear the fans right now.
And now the Pirates going to load the bases again. Stay tuned. You'll know in a moment.
Fouled off.
Another moment.
One more moment.
Well, there's been a 7th inning stretch. There's been situations where Pirate fans have been up on their feet several other times, including this one right now.
Well, the 2 best teams in baseball going at it head-to-head tonight. And this has been a dandy of a ball game so far.
Why wouldn't it be like this? Now, rev it up again.
Walker will take off on the payoff pitch. Ball 4, bases loaded.
Yeah, that ball almost got by Cruz. Here we go again.
Pedro Alvarez coming up against Kevin Segrist. Let's go back 2 years ago to the Division Series, October 6th. Pedro gets a go-ahead RBI single in the 8th inning off Segrist. Jay Hay coming in to score, and the fans going bananas at this ballpark. Pedro's gotten to him before. They have not given anything for Pedro to hit. They've walked him 3 times tonight. They can't walk him here.
As I said, a high ratio of walks to innings for Segrist as you take a look at Pedro's name on that list.
Oh, looking for one good swing from Pedro. Bases full of Bucks, 2 out.
And you just hope that Pedro doesn't give this left-hander any help.
Fouled off down the left side, strike 1.
Large heat from Segrist there at 95 miles an hour.
0-1. In the air to left. Jay will settle under it. And the Cardinals wriggle off the hook again. The Pirates leave the bases loaded again. And we go to the 8th. As Pedro knew he missed it. No score at PNC Park. At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Enjoy live look-ins, highlights, replay reviews, scores, StatCast, live radio broadcasts, and more. Get MLB.com at Bat now. Well, the Bucco fans revved up here tonight. 5 hits for the Pirates, 2 for the Cardinals. Pirates have had the bases loaded 4 times in the game. Pedro flies to left. And now he is out of the ballgame. Sean Rodriguez takes over for him defensively at first base. And as we go to the 8th, the new pitcher is left-hander Tony Watson.
Cardinals have left 2 runners on base. The Pirates 13.
That's a lot of runners.
Oriole goes a scoreless inning, giving up a hit, walking the batter and striking out 2. Numbers for Tony.
The concern on every Cardinals' mind right now is for their teammate Stephen Piscotty. Certainly Mike Matheny somewhere in his mind, obviously concentrating on the game, but he's got Piscotty on the mind as well. Tommy Pham, 1-1. He has been a very pleasant surprise for the Cardinals this year, coming out of AAA. And seems like when he gets his home runs, he's only had 5, but when he gets them, they come at key times. Two balls and a strike to Pham. And Rodriguez playing way off the line at first base. Tony evens the count 2-2.
Well, the 2 strikes have been 2 really good changeups delivered by Tony. We'll go back to the fastball. Try to crowd him.
Struck him out.
Effective. This Tony Watson being Tony Watson. Delivered right on the inside corner.
Wow, pitcher's pitch.
That is a pitch you can't do much with.
We haven't seen the moon much tonight. Cloudy day in Pittsburgh, cloudy night tonight.
Lunar eclipse last night. Saw it for a moment before you guys got back home.
It was cloudy. Couldn't really see it. You saw it though?
Yeah, just briefly. A lot of people up on Mount Washington waiting to take pictures. They had to get them quick.
Colton Wong has one of the 2 Cardinal hits. It came off of Jay Happ in the 3rd inning, and then Tony Cruz came up, hit into a double play, and that erased Wong off the bases. Strike 2 to Colton Wong. Wong asks for time. Playoff-like atmosphere at the ballpark tonight. Fans understand the importance of this game. Players understand the importance of this game. They're all doubly important down the stretch now, the situation both teams are in. Cardinals with a 3-game lead over the Pirates, but playing head-to-head, and the Bucks can dig in with a win.
It's a 2-game swing. It's either 4 or 2. I mean, it's right out there out in front.
And Wong has another opposite field ground ball single. And prior to the game, Tony Watson and Mark Melancon were honored by the Pirates for their work. Melancon setting a club record for saves in a single season, but he couldn't have done it without Tony Watson racking up all those holds.
That is a tandem right there. And a trio. Manager Hurdle and 2 of the best in the business right now out of the bullpen.
Melancon going through his pre-warm-up routine. Yeah, they have shut down a lot of games, haven't they?
And Tony's going to have to be very much aware of Wong over at first base. He has 15 steals.
Cruz swings and misses.
Tony showing a real fine changeup in this inning of work. He's right in the middle of.
Out of 23. Rodriguez holding him on.
Pretty decent lead.
That's a right field. Polanco make the catch, and they're going to double him off.
Play catch. All you got to do is play catch now. There they go, Gregory, looking for that redeemer from the base running situation. Gets it.
Evening. Colton Wong took off, had a bad read on this one, and Pirates made him pay.
Yep.
Easy double play. He just took off and he was thinking third.
Well, he was thinking if Polanco came up short and that ball went down the corner, he was going to score. Gregory outran the ball, and now Sam will stay in the ball game and play left field, and Jay moves over to center, so it's then a shuffling in the Cardinal outfield. Reynolds takes over at first. We're going to get to Jonathan Broxton.
Well, Broxton facing Mercer. And a hot shot right at Carpenter, who was positioned as though he knew the ball was going to come right there. So Broxton gets a quick one pitch out. And he has been victimized in the past at this ballpark.
He has. There's another number that jumps out at you. 7 home runs out of a reliever.
Travis Snyder will bat for the Pirates. One out, nobody on. Broxton, the pitch. Outside for a ball. In PNC Park, he has an ERA over his career of 13.50. He's 0-5 here. PNC Park has been a house of horrors for Jonathan Broxton. And since he left the Dodgers, he's been with the Reds and the Brewers and now the Cardinals, and the Pirates have seen him a lot in the Central Division.
And they've liked seeing him.
Snyder just 1 for 5 against Broxton. Reynolds playing deep and for Snyder to pull. Keon Broxton could be a key guy down the stretch here as a pinch runner. Two-1 to Snyder. Goes to the backstop, and it's 3-1. And if Snyder gets on, Broxton, the other Broxton, Keon Broxton, will run. You have to imagine. Getting his stuff on right now. One to Travis Snyder, 1 out, bases empty. Pirates half of the 8th, no score. He didn't go and he walked him. So the Bucks have the go-ahead run on. And Keon Broxton is going to come out and run for Travis.
Everything went around except the bat. That's torque, and you're going to get the pinch runner.
He can fly.
Yep. It's like a boxing match, Broxton against Broxton.
We've seen Broxton run a little bit on the road, Steve, on the road trip when he joined the Pirates. He can fly. Now he had his AAA manager Dean Traynor was telling me in Chicago the other day a little bit more about him and his base running, and he said that they worked with him a lot on trying to get him to steal third base a little bit more, because second base he didn't have too many problems. Just had really good jumps. He did get thrown out once on the road trip, but it was a late high tag that got him just before he could hit the base, and it was a play that was challenged.
Is there any doubt that he's going to go? Is there any doubt that they're going to throw to first base?
He's got a big lead.
They're going to throw over. They've got to.
He just gets back. He knows
and it's
how far he can get.
Right, and that's a pretty quick move for a big man Broxton has. He didn't waste any time getting over there. It's a matter of execution by the Cardinal catcher, the Pirate runner, and the Cardinal pitcher. How much of a jump he can get.
Polanco at the plate, waits. Gonna throw to first again, and Keon Broxton back.
So this is an act in 3 parts: pitcher, catcher, runner. Not that close. Now, does he have something quicker over there? This guy's been around. Broxton, a veteran.
And a big lead for Keon.
Historically, relief pitchers aren't all that accomplished in terms of moves, pickoffs, that sort of thing. I think the starters certainly work more on that.
And it's taken for a strike. Broxton did not go. Keon Broxton stole 39 bases in 133 minor league games this year between AA Altoona and AAA Indianapolis. Nothing and 1 the count to Gregory Polanco. Throw to first again. Keon Broxton dives back safely.
And the pitcher Broxton is quicker than a lot of guys that come out of the various major league bullpens.
Outside for a ball, 1-1.
Now, this not only wears on the pitcher and the base runner, it can wear on the batter too, with your timing of getting impatient, lunging a little bit, starting to swing early. A lot of things going on in this triangle.
There goes Broxton. And this ball is hit up in the air to left field toward the corner. It'll be playable for Pham. He'll make the catch. Broxton touches second, heads back to first. 2 men out.
So the dance will start all over again.
Last season, when Josh Harrison faced Jonathan Broxton on this date, the 29th of August, and Broxton was with the Reds. Jay Hay with a game-tying triple in the 8th inning. And he came up with an extra base hit here. Rally cap is on. Bucks needed 2-out rallies and 2-out lightning. And no score, bottom of the 8th. Keon Broxton, the pinch runner at first. Cruz sets up way outside, thinking that something might be on. It was sort of a half pitch out there. Keon Broxton made his big league debut a week ago, called up after the AAA playoffs were over. Oh, time was called and asked for by Josh, and Broxton had a good jump.
This is part of the frustration that the Pirates have been feeling offensively all night. Just can't break through.
Again, the Pirates have had the bases loaded 4 times in the game, left them loaded 3 times. They've had traffic on the bases throughout the night, just have been unable to get anybody around third. Jonathan Broxton in the stretch. Throw to first. Keon back.
Another great look. Health Network Super Mode.
Setting up outside is Cruz. That one called a strike. Just barely on the edge.
Lights up the board.
One and one to Josh Harrison. For the first again.
Almost leaning a little bit. His stance when he takes his lead, it leans towards second, and it's important to keep track of everything. He wants so desperately to take off. You see a little bit of a lean. When to go. Just all about when to go.
There he goes. And Josh bounces one to Peralta. And the inning comes to an end. We go to the 9th. The cat and mouse game finished for now. Still scoreless. Allegheny Health Network Super Mode telling part of the story tonight. No score, 8 hits combined, 1 error for the Cardinals. Getting ready to print them, playoff tickets. You can print them. You can buy them. They went on sale today, this morning. Individuals.
Yep.
Martin Melanson will come on, tie game, top of the 9th inning.
Fourth pitcher of the night. Happ, Soria, Watson, Melanson.
Josh Harrison's got his game face on. He's a little bit frustrated, certainly. Has 1 hit. Thought he could have had another and then came up with a runner on. He bounced out to the shortstop Peralta to end the 8th inning. Starling Marte left at third base early in the game.
A lot of frustration.
Still time for a party tonight.
Yep. Everybody's gotten their exercise. 14 runners left on base. Some nights it happens. Some nights you got to work this hard.
Greg Garcia will hit in the 9 spot to lead the inning off. Hitting for the pitcher Broxton. So Broxton survives PNC Park tonight. Pitch to Garcia from Melanson. And he delivers one that Cervelli wanted called a strike. Held the glove there, but called ball 1 inside.
Another one of these occasions where it's not a save. Opportunity for a mark.
See, pitch number 1 was, Steve. That was called a ball.
Yep. No wonder they wanted it. But Clint Hurdle's going to throw everything into the sink tonight to get this first game. Take that, everything he can do to take that first step in this series. Strike. Why would you hold anything back? You've got postseason secured. Now you got a chance to move in a higher direction.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Greg Garcia.
I think the Pirates not crazy about the first call. Garcia not crazy about this call. But it's a perfecto.
Mark has good success against left-handed hitters. Continues it there. Coming back from a 2-0 count to strike out Garcia. 1 out in the 9th. Hammer curveball.
Yep. Underneath any hitting area. If you want to chase him, they'll keep on throwing him.
Matt Carpenter is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts.
That curveball is not a strike, but it looks like a strike for a long time.
He drives one to right field for a base hit. One on and 1 out as Carpenter comes up with his first base hit. Point Park University tweet. Better than 30,000 here. These guys, part of the group. Beautiful night at PNC Park. Thanks for sending us that tweet at the hashtag BucksBooth. You can always reach us there on Twitter.
Point Park alumnus Greg Brown always enjoying those tweets. Sure. It's his school.
It's his alma mater.
Yep. They deny it, but he actually was there.
Center fielder John Jay, the batter, with 1 out, and Carpenter at first. Ball 1 to Jay. First plate appearance for Jay. Well, Carpenter, usually with him, it's just a matter of time before he does get a hit. He doesn't have a lot of games where he's 0 for 4, 0 for 5. He's just one of the more solid guys in the game in terms of offense and defense.
Good looking shirt there. Oh, not seeing that one.
And a ground ball towards second. That's through. Carpenter will head to third base. Polanco dropped it. They're going to send Carpenter. McCutchen can't pick it up. And the Cardinals have taken the lead on an error by the Pirates outfield. The Pirates have blinked first.
Well, Carpenter was going to get to third, but he wasn't going to get to home.
A routine play, fouled up, and it turns into a run for St. Louis.
There's the hit. You're going to give him third. He's going to earn that, but he doesn't earn the rest of it.
Only one error on the play. And now Mark Reynolds at the plate for the first time tonight. He swings and misses.
Yep, what you see, he really needs no words.
John Jay standing at second base. And one out for Reynolds. 0-2. .134 games Reynolds has appeared in. He has struck out 117 times, but he's not the leader for the Cardinals. That's Matt Carpenter. He struck out 148 times, twice tonight. Unfortunately got a one-out base hit and has scored on an error by Polanco. Time call.
Rosenthal getting ready.
He was touched up yesterday. Gave up a grand slam to the Brewers' Jason Rogers in the ninth. This one is well hit. Polanco going back. And Mark Reynolds has made it a 3-0 game with a 2-run homer off of Mark Melancon. The error opened the door, and Reynolds just kicked it in.
Got it up out over the plate, and Reynolds is that strong.
So many times this year, so many times, the Cardinals have scored runs in the 8th or 9th innings to overtake the opponent. They do not score a lot of runs. They do not have a very good offense.
But they score enough.
They score just enough to beat you. Pitching and defense. That's what wins a lot of games. Oh, 2 to Hayward. He struck him out. 2 men out. Melancon's got 2 strikeouts, but in between those 2 strikeouts, havoc ensued. Now Jeremy Peralta will come up. Surprised they didn't give McCutchen an error because John Jay took second after McCutchen dropped the ball. But they've only ruled 1 error, and it's on Polanco. Peralta fouls it off.
Well, the Cardinals are going to set up shop with 1 out. They were going to have runners on first and third, but that's no guarantee that they're going to score.
You know, the thing too, Steve, is we talked about it prior to the game. The Pirates' fate's in their own hands in this series as Peralta pops this one up. They've had the bases 4 times loaded in this game and have come up empty, and now they're down to their last at bat, and the hill's a little higher to climb. Cardinals and Michael Wacha. Our coverage starts at 6:30 with Pirates pregame presented by W.B. Mason on Root Sports. Well, an eerie sky, an eerie ball game. It's the top of the ninth. Just, I don't know. This doesn't make you feel very good.
And kind of interesting over at Wrigley Field, no score in the 10th. Kansas City and the Cubs. Rosenthal yesterday
against the Brewers, facing Jason Rogers in the 9th inning. Rogers, a grand slam. And that propelled the Brewers to an 8-4 win over the Cardinals. And the Pirates have gotten to Rosenthal in the past. Not many teams do. The Brewers joined the club yesterday. But the Pirates have been a thorn in the side for Rosenthal this year.
47 out of 50.
Pitch to McCutcheon. Fouls it off down the right field side for a long strike. 97-mile-an-hour fastball. 293. Kutch with one hit tonight. And 3 at bats. Plus a walk. Ball and 1 strike to Andrew McCutcheon. (1-1). Scrambles the Pirate dugout on the third base side. And it's 1-2. At PNC Park in 11 games. 0-2 for Rosenthal and an ERA over 5.5. He doesn't like this place much either. Kutch with another long foul ball out of play.
98 miles an hour after 88. And they're way out in front of the 88. A little bit behind the 98.
With a couple of bloops in the blast here. Breaking ball up high. Count 2-2. Mark Reynolds with the 2-run homer off of Mark Melancon has made it a 3-0 game. Count full to McCutcheon.
Starts with base runners.
Get them on any way you can.
I would be stunned if Andrew sees anything off speed right now. I would think that Rosenthal is going to try to give him all he's got.
And he yanks it foul.
But wrong again. Steve, he did go with something off speed.
Well, you could keep saying it. Eventually, you're going to be right. Well, say it right here. Think he's going to get a fastball here?
I don't know anymore. I've been wrong so often on predicting these pitches.
Inside ball 4, and the Bucks do have a base runner to start the 9th.
He stayed away from this heat and lost him.
So this will bring the tying run out into the on-deck circle.
The 9th free pass issued by Cardinal pitcher.
Now you get 9 walks, you got to figure somebody's got to score at some point. Maybe it's this inning. Maybe the Bucks can put together something this inning. They're going to have to. And as you talked about, if it goes the other way, it's a 2-game swing in the standings.
Yep, it was going to be 4 or 2 no matter what. And looking at a long uphill climb.
Marte looking for a hit. He is 0 for 3 with a walk. Middle infield looks for 2 as Rosenthal stretches. Strike call to Marte.
One thing Rosenthal does not have to deal with right now is a threat of a stolen base. Pirates need more than one.
Cardinals have some action. Matt Belisle is up. Marte flies this one foul out of play.
Yep. Mike Matheny not liking a free pass to start out the bottom of the ninth. So just in case it is not Rosenthal's night.
Not often do they have action behind Rosenthal when they've got a lead, especially one of 3 runs.
Well, after the grand slam and then the leadoff walk here, you wonder. Well, you don't have to wonder. Mike Matheny playing it the correct way just in case he needs a man.
0-2. And a base hit. Pirates with a pulse in the ninth.
Not only a pulse, but a swing away from tying it up. Lilliquist out to talk to his closer. That's the sweet spot for guys that can go upstairs, just extend the arms.
For a guy like Rosenthal to lose a hitter 0-2 like that, or a pitch like that, that was just left up. Marte just took advantage. Now with nobody out, 2 on. More rally caps.
Yep. So far they got a little action out of those hats.
Walker doubled in the second inning. His walk reached on error and grounded out.
Was it Rosenthal in both scenarios before the All-Star break, the Saturday night and the Sunday night?
He was.
Yeah. Here we are.
Walker with good numbers against the Cardinal closer. These fans have been into this game pitch by pitch all night long.
They have.
Thinking 1 to Neal.
99 miles an hour.
Something off that. Big separation, 11 miles an hour.
Yep. Those are the last 2 pitches he threw to Andrew before he walked him were away from the fastball. That's a dandy there. That's a perfecto.
The one on top of the other, but 11 miles an hour slower. So Walker out in front. And an 0-2 count to Neal. Piece of the 99.
And back and forth, fast and slow. The way pitching works, good pitching works. Changing speeds, even at that high a level.
Pirates are 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Got to change it.
People have no idea how hard it is to go back and forth with that kind of speed at close to 100 miles an hour, and then something that's not that, whatever the separation is, because you just got to protect against that kind of speed. It's so tough not to be so far early when something else comes. And even if you're on time, there's just not much time. Hitting is tough.
Ramirez lurking in the Pirates dugout. Marte at first, McCutchen at second. 0-2 outside.
And to have the discipline to take close pitches. Now that pitch wasn't close, but 98, 99 miles an hour to make a decision. I'm going to take this, and I'm convinced it's going to be a ball. That's tough. Nobody does it better. That's a great sign.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
And again, missing with something other than his best pitch.
Heavyweights on deck now.
Make no mistake about it. Rosenthal's best pitch is 98, 99 mile-an-hour heat.
2-2 to Neil Walker. Inside, it's 3-2.
Again, staying away from the fast. Will he do what he tried to do against McCutchen? Stay away from what he feels Walker's going to be looking for. That's what makes it so tough.
Everybody's up. Payoff pitch.
A thread. Alive by a thread. And on the other hand, as a pitcher out there, trying to continue not only throw strikes, but good strikes. And when you get in a full count situation, how delicate can you be? I mean, how fine can you try to make your delivery? Big league baseball.
Two on, nobody out. Everybody's on the edge tonight. We'll gear up for another.
Can Neil continue to stay alive? Can Rosenthal continue to throw strikes?
He's thrown 9 pitches to Walker. This one will be the 10th. 20 pitches in the inning so far. Payoff. And a bouncer to the right side. And a foul ball. Must have hit the foot of Walker.
And Tony Cruz signaling over to Matheny to stay in the dugout. Initially.
Well, Matheny's coming out. He wants an explanation.
Let's see what we can find out. Huh? Did it bounce beside the foot or get a piece of his foot on the bounce going up?
Matheny talking with Lance Barksdale here, and this is not a play that you can review.
You're trying to get help from asking for help?
Well, the first base umpire, Sonia, held his hands up as well. It was the crew chief, Gary Cederstrom. And Matheny just delaying things here. And this is probably not going to gain any traction for Mike Matheny. He's not too happy.
Again, what can you see? I don't see it hitting him, but
does it hit the bottom of his shoe? It's really difficult to tell. And Walker, whatever it hit, if it didn't hit, that's a good piece of acting. But now we just get ready for it once again. The 11th pitch of the at-bat with 2 on and nobody out. A 3-2 pitch from Rosenthal. Struck him out. Francisco Cervelli coming up. When these two teams met in July, he faced Rosenthal in the 10th inning. He had a base hit. That tied the game. Polanco would come up after and get a walk-off base hit.
it was a phenomenal stretch, those 2 games.
Yes. 1 out in the bottom of the 9th inning. 3-0 Cardinals, 2 on, Cervelli up. To right field, and Hayward will be right there. He'll make the catch. And now the Pirates down to their last out. Dennis Ramirez will pinch hit for Sean Rodriguez. And since joining the Pirates, hitting .322 with runners in scoring position.
Certainly represents enough power and then some.
Ball one.
And this is one of those situations, Tim, where you don't look for a guy like this to shorten up in this situation and try to get a base hit. You're looking for him to get his money's worth and tie this thing up.
What a disappointing night for the Pirates. This was a tremendous ball game. Things went awry in the top of the 9th inning. And the Cardinals sneak out of here with a win on a big Pirate error.
Well, you talk about what we talked about, the tips to win. No mistakes, no errors. There was a couple mistakes. There was a huge error. And when you got this tight a ball game, it can make the difference.
Well, the Pirates now fall a little further behind the Cardinals. Their work gets a little tougher with 5 games remaining in the regular season. 4 games back. Cubs and Kansas City still scoreless in the 10th inning. Final score 3-0. Cardinals win it. Let's go downstairs to Rob King and Kent Jacoby.
Tim and Steve, thanks very much. And Teak, obviously, the Pirates, this is a game they could ill afford to lose, especially when they had all those opportunities offensively. But I think what we remember about this game is that the Pirates defense, which has let them down in the past, they have more errors than any team in the National League, let them down here to score this game in the 9th inning, and then the Cardinals were able to take advantage of that.
Right, and had the offense converted some of those opportunities early in the game, those runs in the last inning might not have been as big. There were plenty of opportunities early on to score, but when you're playing a good team, and you cannot afford to make mistakes, and this is the one in the 9th inning that kind of kept the inning going for the Cardinals. If would have put runners on first and third, you don't know what would have happened. But then this Mark Reynolds home run to right field, it just kind of capped off the whole thing. The Pirates made a late charge against Rosenthal, but that 9th inning, and it was the runs that we didn't score before the 9th inning, and then the help that we gave them during the 9th inning really was the undoing of the Pirates tonight.
4 times with the bases loaded, and of course they get 2 more on in the 9th as well. The Pirates could not cash in, do not get the win. The Cardinals win by the final score of 3-0, taking a very, very crucial first game of this 3-game set. Coming up on Pirates Postgame, presented by the Allegheny Health Network, we'll have highlights from this game, post-game reaction from manager Clint Hurdle, and inside the Pirates clubhouse, highlights from around the league, plenty of analysis from Teak, and more coming up next on Pirates Postgame.